We have no questions as yet except one, which will be replied in one word. Huh? They are all yesterday's, isn't it? Got mixed up?
Oh, no. Yeah, some of them are yesterday's. I don't know which one would that be, but we should put a date on it.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What does Vedanta say about homosexuality? I don't know. If at all it says anything, then I don't know. If true happiness is obtained from doing your dharma, what does it mean? Or what does it mean? I should be doing whatever makes me happy. So, one advice seems to be that I should do whatever makes me happy. And the other statement is the true happiness is obtained from doing your dharma. So which is right? I'm doing whatever makes me happy. That means doing dharma, or doing what is right makes you happy. That's what it means. Because what do you think makes you happy? Whatever makes me happy. But what is it? Whatever your fancy tells you, is that what is right? No. Doing what is right is what results into happiness. It may involve short-term pain, but long-term gain. Therefore, the means of happiness is doing what is right, which may not be easy. That means that it is not that easy to be happy. To be happy is not easy. Oh Swamiji, I go to an ice cream shop, I am happy. I go to a movie and I am happy. I watch my favorite TV serial and I am happy. Is there a guarantee? You go to ice cream shop, is a guarantee that you get the ice cream of your favorite choice that you'll be necessarily happy? Or that watching movie, there's no guarantee that any given thing other than you can make you happy, because to be happy, not only you require what you think is the means of happiness, you require a mind also. To be happy, you also require our mind, meaning that our mind or ourselves should cooperate. The favorite food is in front of you and you have stomach ache. The friends are going to movie, a famous movie, looking forward to that. In between these fellows there is some discussion and somebody said something and this fellow got hurt. So you go to a movie with a hurt mind, you can't enjoy it. Meaning that there is no guarantee that something other than you will necessarily give you happiness. On the other hand, if you have a mind which is happy, then it will necessarily make you happy. Meaning that our effort should be to make our mind happy by itself. And for that, the means we are discussing, perform karma, your duty, with the attitude of yoga. Do what is right, follow the values, follow right values and attitudes, do what is right, be a contributor. Be a contributor also is a value. So that is a sure way of being happy. Because doing this will necessarily create a mind which is pleased with itself. When you do what is right, if you do what is right, you are bound to be happy. It may be painful in the beginning, but will give you happiness in the end. Doing what is right may involve short-term pain, but long-term gain. So happiness doesn't come from ice cream, does not come from movie, does not come from anything other than myself. Because happiness is the nature of the self. However, we require a given disposition of mind to enjoy happiness, which is our own self. The question will be, Swamiji, if happiness is my own nature, then how come I am not always happy? Because to be happy, we also require mind. And the mind should enjoy a given disposition to enjoy the happiness which is its own self. And that disposition is created when we live life as prescribed, meaning doing what is right, being contributor, etc. So these values that we are taught, following those values will create a disposition of mind which will be a happy disposition. There is no other way. No, but Swami, every time I eat ice cream, I'm happy. But that, we do get happiness. But what is the cause of that happiness? That cause of happiness is your own punya karma or virtuous deed. Meaning that if your past punya or virtue fructifies in the present, then whatever it is will give you happiness. It is punya that gives you happiness, and that object becomes just an occasion. So two ways of getting happiness. Do punya karma, perform virtuous actions, so it builds up your store of punya which will result into happiness, or follow these values, right attitudes and values. You create a mind which will be happy by itself. So happiness coming from punya also is temporary. Happiness that comes when we create a state of mind which is possible for us, and that is a more lasting happiness.
How you say that the mind has to be right.
Hari Om. I haven't studied Gita a lot. Whatever I learned in last couple of days or over the few times discussing with my husband. Sometimes the main thing you said that the mind has to be right. Being a science student, probability is always there. So I always think like being a right mind and a right decision, there is a probability. Something which is right for me might not be right for him, or something which is right for him might not be right for me. I'm taking him, he's wonderful, so I can give him as an example. But in any situation, whether you're at work, your parents, your kids, some things I might be like, no, this is what I should do. What my buddhi is. My buddhi is telling me from my thing that this is what I should do. Whereas my kids might think something else. My husband might think something else. So how do you make the right choice? How do you know that, okay, this is sakarma, this is vikarma, since we are talking about the karma? That challenge we always, I guess, pause. That's how I'll say that yes, it will give me happiness to do the right thing, but if I do right thing, other person thinks, oh, this is not the right way, you should do this way. And then I'm like, no, this is what it has to be done because I think this is the right way because that is my buddhi. And both things are right. What my kids are saying or what my parents are saying, what I'm saying, on two different angles, both the things are right. How do we judge or do I give respect to my parents? Or when I go to Mahabharata and we discuss about all these things, what Arjun had, that Bhishma and Drona, we discussed that a lot, like, okay, they did what they did wrong because of that they are suffering. I don't know what I did, or Dhritarashtra probably people.
All right, that's enough. So, what is right is not the description of an action. What is right is the description of the attitude. And so, what is right doesn't mean taking this road or that road. That is not what we mean. What is right is what is honest, or what is in keeping with the dharma, or what is beneficial to others. Basically, what is right is when you do something that brings about a larger benefit, that is right. It's not taking this path and that path. That's what is not right. That is, whether it's orange, apple, that is not right or wrong. Right and wrong is determined by your intention. Intention that determines something is right. You know. You need not worry about what someone else will say. As long as you are honest and you feel this is the right thing to do, the outcome may say that maybe it should have been done differently. But that does not matter because your intention was honest. So what is important is an honest intention in doing what is right. Whether it's not a matter of agreement or not agreement, etc. You are the best judge of deciding what is right. And it may not be right in terms of vyavahara, but right in terms of morality. Okay, your question? Here, please pass on the microphone.
It's a little bit different, but on the same path. Can you hear me? Yeah. In the morning, and we discussed that we should take the action not for the self or for personal gain. If you are contributing, then it is a permanent pleasure. But when I'm in my business or I'm in my job, obviously I work for the salary or the money. Then how to reconcile that day to day we have to work for money? If my employer doesn't pay me, then naturally I'm not going to work. If my client doesn't pay, I'm not going to
I understand. Now, see, it is not a matter of whether you get salary or not. It is that whatever you do for salary, but whatever you do, what is your approach or attitude towards what you do? Are you doing this for the benefit of your employer? In doing everything there is a choice, often. I do something which will personally benefit me in the end, which may not be in benefit of the organization, or I do something which is for the benefit of the organization, even if it does not benefit me personally. That is where choice comes, that you do what benefits the organization, even if it does not benefit you. So whether you are getting compensation or not, every time you have to make this choice. Now, what is the situation that will determine, because sometimes making decisions even in the place of work may bring about some visibility to me if I do it in some way. So there are ways where I can get some certain personal benefit if I want to do it one way, which may cost something for my organization. Or if I do it for my organization purely, I may not personally stand to gain anything. So very often, even while working for organizations, people make choices where available, which will personally benefit them, even though it may not be in the best interest of the organization for which you are working. If such a choice comes, that is when we have to make a decision. I'm able to maintain, if I repeat yesterday's question, please just remind me. I'm able to maintain calmness of mind in a temple or ashram. How to stay in a calm state of mind in the chaotic outside world? So we have to cultivate. And what we are talking about, like values, karma yoga, etc., all of these are ways of cultivating a mind which can maintain its own quietude in spite of the external influences. I can only describe to you an ideal case of a wise person that Lord Krishna describes. Dukkheshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspruha. He is not perturbed in painful situation or pleasant situation because he is calm within himself. And so that calmness we have to slowly cultivate within ourselves. And you can certainly take the help of a temple or an ashram. That environment induces calmness in you. But ultimately, we have to cultivate that calmness within ourselves. In general, more you are happy with yourself, more calm will your mind be. More you are accepting yourself, more you are satisfied with yourself, less conflict there will be, more calmness will be, because all our conflicts are with ourselves. Inside the mind, a battle is going on with my own self. When I am not accepting of myself, not happy with myself, not satisfied with myself. And therefore, living this way of life that we are talking about, of karma yoga, values, we will slowly cultivate a mind where I am happy with myself. Then the influence of outside situation will be less and less. I may not need a given external situation to be calm. I will be able to command that calmness on my own. This is the result of living a certain way of life. But this is possible, and this is what is the purpose of what we are discussing. Because outside world is what it is. Chaotic. Some people enjoy happiness in serving themselves. They will buy expensive things, big home, grand vacation, to think that it will give happiness. Is this a shallow way? Happiness is to help others and see the joy. As I just said a little while ago, happiness is a result of the fructification of our past good karma. Or happiness is the result of cultivating a mind with the right values and attitude. That's the lasting happiness. But even the temporary happiness that you think you get from vacation or expensive things or from home, etc., that is all the result of your past punya karma. Otherwise, that home should make you always happy. The car, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Home also. You get used to anything, in course of time, is no more. Does not turn me on, is not exciting anymore. That is what they call the law of diminishing return. You depend upon something external for your happiness. So that's the chance. If your punya karma fructifies, you're happy. So you keep doing punya. Forget about the expensive stuff. Really, this is very practical. That doesn't mean I have anything against your expense. You enjoy it. But it's not that something expensive necessarily makes you happy. Otherwise, stay at home and you'll always be happy. If it's expensive, large, big, beautiful home, enjoy it. If beach makes you happy, have a beach home. But everything is a diminishing return. So learn the simple rule that you enjoy happiness as a result of the fructification of your good karma. Therefore, focus on good karma. I have no problem. You can focus on expensive things. That's your pleasure. But as far as happiness is concerned, please focus on doing good things. As far as comfort is concerned, expensive things are fine. Comfort is one thing, happiness is a different thing. Yes, you can get comfort by expensive things. Happiness by doing good. That should become very clear, at least to us here, so that you won't waste your time and energy after things thinking that they'll make you happy, which poor things are not designed for that. Expensive things are designed to make you comfortable, not happy. Ishvara has created this world for being useful to us, not to give us happiness. So everything has a use. A chair has a use, table has a use, and use it. But chair cannot guarantee me happiness. Table cannot guarantee me happiness. Nothing can guarantee me happiness because it is not designed. Chair is designed to serve its purpose of a comfortable sitting. Table is meant to serve its purpose of being a writing desk or whatever it is. Meaning that the things of the world have usefulness. Know the difference. They are not meant to give us happiness, they are meant to be useful to you. So, certainly get them, because you need them. But if you think that by getting this given thing that will make me happy, no. I'm afraid that's not the case. Otherwise, all you need is a few things and you'll always be happy. If they can give you happiness. If candy can give me happiness, great. All I need is a stock of candies, a stock of ice creams, or pizza, or whatever it is. But no. You get fed up with anything in course of time. Therefore, When you're living your life, understand that you're welcome to buy what you want. They will give you comfort, not happiness. Happiness you have to earn by doing good, not by acquiring things, by doing good. And ideal good is when you do it for some other one, somebody else. But it's temporary good is that you do some yajna, dana, tapaha, etc. you do. So this basic arithmetic must be very clear. There is no way for getting happiness other than you. Nothing else can make me happy. I alone can make myself happy. And I alone make myself unhappy. We like to blame other people. But nobody can make me unhappy unless I cooperate with them. And nobody can make me happy unless I cooperate with them. So, I am a very important factor. Is that clear? The opportunities to help others, especially less fortunate, are far more in countries like India. In rich countries like USA, these opportunities seem very few. What types of karma yoga can we do in our daily lives when we live in the US? As I said, a rich person also can be unhappy. Richness and happiness need not be equated. Meaning that in a rich country like US also, there can be any number of people who need help, emotional help. And I'm not suggesting that you go around and look for them. You need not go out of your own home basically. I'm sure that in our own family, you can provide happiness to the rest of the members. First of all, by not becoming a nuisance, not creating unhappiness for them. And understand them. You need not go out. Understand. Even if you are two of you, understand the other person. What are his or her ragadveshas? What is it that he or she would like? Try to do that. What is it that they would dislike? Try to avoid that. Not easy. Easier said than done. Swami, his mood always changes. I don't know. I can never predict. Could be. To make one person happy is also not easy at all. And therefore we don't have to go out. Richness and happiness are not equal. I pray that this rich country everybody is happy, but that's not the equation. Happiness has to be earned by being a good person. That is the only way. If you are rich, well, that is adding, what shall we say, icing on the cake. But the cake must be there to begin with. Happiness to help others and see the joy, yes. And you can help your mother, you can help your spouse, you can help your wife. She is doing dishes, extend the hand in vacuum cleaning, laundry, dishes. You can make your mom happy. Mom, all right, today I'll do the dishes. You take a rest. I'll do the laundry. You take rest. I'll do the grocery shopping. You take rest. You'll get a lot of blessing. Somebody had a question somewhere?
Hari Om Swamiji.
Yes.
My son is learning Gayatri Mantra.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly, Pujya Swami Dayanandaji taught that you pronounce the word suvaha, not swaha, in the mantra. Is there a difference in meaning between suvaha and swaha? Which pronunciation does Swamiji think is correct or optimal?
Both are correct. There are two readings. Swaha and swaha have the same meaning, and bhuhu, bhuvaha, swaha. Swaha means heaven, and swaha also would be the same. So these are two readings. Bhurbhuva swaha or bhurbhuva swaha. Whatever you are exposed to will be all right. Right? There's no new questions? No, there do not seem to be any new questions. I guess. Please give the microphone there.
Hari Om Swami.
Yes.
Can you teach me the similarities or the differences between the philosophy of yoga, Patanjali Yoga and Advaita Vedanta? Both seem to be teaching an inward journey towards the self, purifying the mind, and eventually seeing the true nature of the self.
Yes. In fact, yoga is a means to make the Advaita teaching possible. Meaning that what Advaita teaches, to realize that we need yoga. Now, yoga has two aspects. Yoga is practice and yoga is philosophy also. As far as yoga philosophy is concerned, we may have some differences. Because yoga philosophy is based on Sankhya, which accepts multiplicity of Atma. And yoga also accepts that. Doesn't make a very big difference, but that is where the basic difference is between Sankhya and Advaita Vedanta. Otherwise, yoga is prescribed for Vedanta also, because Nididhyasana means meditation for which you require yoga. So yoga as a means is definitely desirable. There at the end.
Hello, Swamiji. Who decides what's the difference between Dharma and Adharma? I mean, Arjuna had his close friend Krishna by him, Most of my friends are just like me. Who tells me what's dharma and what's adharma for me?
Now the basic law is, do not do to others what you do not want to be done to you. Atmanah pratikulani paresham na samacharet. We should not do unto others what we do not want to be done to us. And the corollary is that we should try to do to others what we wish to be done to us. Meaning that, place yourself in the position of other person and ask, what would I expect, how would I expect to be treated if I was in that position? And try that response. It is a very high bar to place myself in position of others and do what I would have expected is extremely difficult, but that is the basic rule. To whatever extent we can follow that, to that extent this is dharma. Meaning that perhaps we may not be able to practice dharma in its entirety, but this is basic thing. Now when it comes to Mahabharata, the battle of Mahabharata is there, no doubt, where Lord Krishna had to make various decisions. But Lord Krishna's main proclamation is Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. The fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells us the purpose of his incarnation. Paritranaya sadhunam, for protecting the good, righteous. Vinashaya duskritam, for destruction of the wicked. Dharma samsthapanartha, for establishing dharma or righteousness. So that is the basic pratigna. You follow? Then what Lord Krishna does in individual situation will follow this pratigna. Meaning that suppose Jayadratha or Duryodhana or Karna, XYZ, they were killed by what one may call unfair means. Ultimately the purpose was vinashaya duskritam, for the destruction of the wicked. So that main thing was accomplished. That becomes more important than the other secondary value of whether it is righteous or unrighteous, because the primary value is that. So sometimes for following primary value, you may have to bend the secondary values.
So I practice law, and in the legal field, there are often times when dharma and kartavya stands against each other. So what value presides over other value? Like dharma or kartavya, are they one and the same, or those are two coins of the same, like two sides of the same coin? Are those two different aspects of life? What wins over what?
See, you are an attorney, meaning that you don't have the freedom to make a decision. You have to make a decision which is in the benefit of a client. That is kartavya, that may not be dharma. Because your client has engaged you, appointed you, is paying you, and so you necessarily have to do something which will benefit your client. There have been some attorneys who say that I will not take a case which is not right. No, but we are not like that. And we don't even know sometimes whether your client is telling you truth or what it is. So attorney stands for the benefit of his or her client. That is called right. You follow? That's the primary value. Other values may have to be sacrificed. You follow what I'm saying? It's a profession which is going to involve sacrificing the values. Vishesha Dharma and Samanya Dharma. Okay.
So Hari Om Swamiji, Swadharma, the Vishesha Dharma and Samanya Dharma comes, right? So the example you gave now comes under Vishesha Dharma?
No, Samanya Dharma is that which applies to everybody. Speaking truth, ahimsa, satya, asteya. These are the values to be followed by everybody. Vishesha Dharma is the role that you play in a given situation. As a husband, as a brahmana, as a kshatriya, as a businessman, the role that you're playing, that will become the Vishesha Dharma. In that, the Samanya Dharma of being honest, being truthful, etc. is assumed. So Samanya Dharma applies to everybody. Vishesha Dharma applies to a given person depending upon the role that the person is playing in a given situation. So it will keep changing as the roles change. They are not decided anyway, so forget about them. Yeah.
Swami Shri, I advise people on investment. Sometimes what happens is the client acts contradictory to what is in their interest. And I sometimes find it difficult to reconcile with that because I want to do the right thing by them. And to have to stand by and let them make something which may not be the right decision for them is difficult. How do I reconcile it at a personal level? Because I believe it's my august duty to protect them financially. So how do I convince myself? I guess the client has the right of doing what he wants to do, but I personally find it a little bit difficult.
Your role is to advise the client, isn't it? And then it is client's business to do what the client wants to do. So your duty is over by advising, I think, if I understand your role correctly. And give him the microphone.
I think the conflict lies because a lot of them are my friends as well, and I think that's where the duality kind of bothers me. That is where the problem is, I think.
Now, what bothers you that they are making a decision which is against their own interest? Is this the problem? But when you advise them what is in their best interest, then why do they make such a decision? Is someone else advising them?
I think sometimes, a lot of times what happens is they take family advice and it's a more emotional decision that has been made versus what is in their interest. And for me it's difficult because most of them are my friends as well. So that duality kind of puts me in a very unique situation wherein I can't be, I cannot tell them your family is wrong in a very blunt way, but I still have to reconcile to the fact that his decision is his, though he's my friend as well. So
Always his decision is his, and you already advised, your job is done. And he is a grown-up person, knows his responsibility, and you told him what is in his best interest. See, if he wants to do it differently, God bless him. What can you do?
Namaste, Swamiji. A follow-up question on work and dharma. This is more taking a perspective for my son, who is now 14 years old. So once you're already a lawyer, then it's already determined sort of what you're going to do. But when you're younger and maybe you have choices, then does it matter from the karma perspective or dharma, choosing between, let's say, like, should you put a thought into, does it matter if I work as an IT analyst, let's say, for an arms manufacturing company, or for some other company, or social media? Because if it gets complicated, if you start thinking about how it's being used, where it's being used, what ill effects it has, social media, etc. So on the surface, we might say, let's drive everyone, like a lot of kids, they got into Google, they got into or Facebook or whatever, but then should we take that into account at that stage in life?
It depends on the value that your son has. If money is his value, he'll go to Google, he'll go to, the alcohol company and, tobacco company and stuff like that. They're openly, hurting the people. But they are high salary, they are high paying people. And so people go there. So it's a matter of your understanding of what your role is, what is morality. Ultimately, you simply promoting, you write on the, carton, smoking is harmful to the health, and keep selling it anyway. And then we have to decide whether I want to join, because they pay well. Tobacco companies pay well, alcohol companies pay well, all these people pay well. So is being paid well my value, or doing good is my value, or at least not cooperating in hurting others.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji, pranam. There was a question the other day, who wrote all various scriptures, and if I remember correctly, you had said that Gita was revealed. And so I thought Gita is a part of Mahabharata, which was written by Vyasa. Wasn't very clear to me.
Right, but Gita is a special dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. And it has a subject matter. It is placed in Mahabharata, whatever way, placed there. Between you and me, I don't know whether it's in the right place or not. But because people keep asking me, Swamiji, after this teaching of Lord Arjuna, how come what he did in the battle, has no relevance, looks like. It's quite divergent to what it is. I said, don't ask me to, no purvapara sambandha. Gita has to take independently. It happens to be in Mahabharata someplace, but after learning the Arjuna cannot do it because a lot of wrong things were done. After when you fight a battle, very often you get angry and you do things that is not right. And nobody is an exception. Pandavas also have done something wrong when they were angry or they were, jealous or whatever. Kauravas may have done many more, but not that Pandavas also. And so, therefore, when people ask me, Swamiji, after Arjuna listened to Lord Krishna, how do you explain this? Don't ask me, I said. You ask me about Bhagavad Gita. Not before and after. It's placed someplace, So I don't know.
Thank you so much.
But this is my way of escaping. All right, we seem to be done with all the questions. So you have the final chance. You're not asking.
So, Swamiji, first of all, namaskar, Swamiji. Research in technology seems to go beyond people's imaginations year after year after year. I guess I'm going back to a few years ago, maybe a couple of decades ago, when there was that big debate in this country about stem cell research and things like that. Things like that, when that comes up in life, and that sometimes runs contrary to the teachings or the
conscience.
Conscience. How can one accept or reject, and how do you make that decision? If science benefits, some research in science benefits a category of people who are in dire need of certain research results and medicine or whatever. That particular probably had to do with cancer research and whatnot. How do we reconcile that?
Like genetically modified grains,
It could be, yeah. When you're short of food, population grows beyond control. I'm sure it will happen sometime in the future. It probably already is some places.
No, many countries are already facing that.
So when that happens,
India is one of them.
Right. So when that happens, and research gets comes in the way, and people who are doing the research have that conflict of in the mind. How do they resolve that? And also probably goes into research that is never heard of probably in future, where they may say, well, we have a new research where there could be promising results where life can be extended beyond 100 years or whatever. I'm just making it up. But things like that that goes contrary to our teachings and principles. How do people reconcile that? How do people make a decision? It's a dilemma at that time.
There is no teaching of principle as far as the duration of life is concerned, as far as the production of grains or what is concerned. And I do not know if the issue is settled or not, whether the genetically modified,
organisms,
grains, or so whether they are necessarily I do not know. He may know much more than I do, but I do not know whether it is certainly improves. The quantity of production, and the plants were more hardy as far as the attack of insecticide and stuff is concerned. So, but what the other effects are, people do not know. And so they are just apprehensive as to what this will do. But then the fact remains that genetically modified grain is more sturdy, the production is higher, and it helps feeding people in countries like India. So these kind of dilemmas are there, whether it is, I don't know if it is morally right, wrong or indifferent, but then some people oppose. Like Prince in the United Kingdom, he opposed, and he was had taken up the cause of against this genetically modified thing. So I am not informed enough to, but this debate is there, that you increase the production.
Does Sanatana Dharma teachings in our scriptures stop us from doing anything like that, in getting in research or supporting such a research? Or
no, Sanatana Dharma has nothing to do with, but it will, as long as you are helping people, that is fine. Now, whether you are helping people or hurting people, that is where the debate is. Whether short-term gain, long-term pain, long-term, so I think this is all under still discussion. And so there are some very gray areas, where still I guess the decision is not arrived at, so it may be difficult then. So when you take one side that it's helping people, so do it. They say, no, it is hurting this, or don't do it. So there.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we are done. Okay, good. Dhimiki dhimiki dhim, dhimiki dhimiki dhim, nache bholana. Om dhimiki. Om dhimiki dhimiki dhim, dhimiki dhimiki dhim, nache bholanath. Om nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Om dhimiki dhimiki dhim, dhimiki dhimiki dhim, nache bholanath. Mridanga bole Shiva 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 Om. Mridanga bole Shiva 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 Om. Damaru bole Hara 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 Om. Damaru bole Hara 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 Om. Veena bole Hari Om Hari Om. Veena bole Hari Om Hari Om. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Nache bholanath. Om dhimiki dhimiki dhim, dhimiki dhimiki dhim, nache bholanath. Om Om dhimiki dhimiki dhim, dhimiki dhimiki dhim, nache bholanath. 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 Om dhimiki dhimiki dhim, dhimiki dhimiki dhim, nache bholana. Mrudanga bole Shiva 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 Om. Damaru bole Hara 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 Om. Veena bole Hari Om Hari Om. Nache Bholanath. 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 Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhaved. Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.